supply of drinking water in a city. This is a mini model of the purification of water and how it is supplying in the city. What are the different parts we have? What are the different parts we have? Tell me.
Pumping station.
Pumping station, right? So it is taking the water from different river, not all the river, right? Even drainage system, right? Then it is applied to
sedimentation
tank. Then
loading
tank. Then
filtration
tank. Then
chlorination tank.
So how many tank? 1, 2, 3, 4. First one, sedimentation, where the main solid particle will come sedimented, right? Then loading tank, by adding some chemical, we will separate some kind of elements. Then it is going to filtration tank. Okay, they're using the fine sand, coarse sand, gravel, etc. will be filtered, and it is coming to chlorination tank, where there we will add chlorine. Why we are adding chlorine? What is the use of chlorine?
To purify, to clean it.
To
clean the water.
in what sense? Killing the germs,
bacteria, right?
Yeah. Then from there it will be pumped to the main water storage tank, which is situated in the tank in the city. From there, through the pipe, it will go to different home and shops, restaurant, etc. Right? Got it? Got it. If they're asking you to draw, you can draw a simple diagram like this. So you can take a screenshot. Take a screenshot. Fine. Done? Taken?
Yes, sir.
Taken. Fine. Then next, in another, the textbook one given, right? Textbook. Sedimentation tank, loading tank, filtration tank, chlorination tank, and then distributing to home. So my figure is more clear than this one, right? So no.
Yes.
Fine.
See properly.
Okay. Now, so which one is better for you? Just draw it and send me by WhatsApp after the class.
Okay.
Activity. Okay. Everyone note in the notebook. Don't say after one day when you're coming for next class. Don't say I forgot. Anan.
So what is the activity?
Draw the water purification system in waterworks. Water purification system in waterworks. This figure or the previous one? Anna, noted? Alvin, Amin.
Yes, sir.
Noted?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Next. The source of water supply in a city is either a nearby river or a lake called reservoir, right? The river water and lake water usually contain suspended solid substances and some germs also. right? So we cannot drink it directly, right? It is not good for health. Water which is from coming from lake or river, we cannot directly take and drink. It is not good for health, right? Some other purpose we can use, right? Not for drinking. So before this water can be supplied to homes, it must be purified to remove suspended impurities as well as germs. Understood? Note it. Note it. Done? Noted?
Yes, sir.
Noted. Fine.
One second.
Yes, sir.
Huh? What should you say?
Yes, sir.
Figure it is there in the textbook, okay? No, just make the note on it. Fine? Noted? This figure is given in the textbook, right? Yes or no? Hmm? I've taken from the textbook. Shibura finished?
Yes, sir.
So this is done at a place called waterworks. Waterworks. So we are calling the system as waterworks. Okay, fine. So let us learn what is waterworks. The waterworks of a city is usually situated near the bank of a river. Why? Very far, it will be costly to take the water from the river and bringing to that location, right? It's always better near to the river or lake, right? So the purification of river water or lake water is done in the following steps. First one, the water from a river or lake is pumped by pumping station into a large reservoir called sedimentation tank. Sedimentation tank. Okay. Pumping station into a large reservoir called sedimentation tank. This water is allowed to stand in the sedimentation tank for some time. During this time, many of the insoluble substances present in water settle down at the bottom of the tank because they are insoluble, they are heavy, right? So if you allow them to keep in sedimentation tanks, what will happen? That will settle down. Understood? Understood? Understood?
Yes, sir.
Sir.
Okay. Tell me. Any doubts?
I said yes, sir.
Okay. Noted. Done.
Yes, sir.
Fine. Others?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Next. Second section. From the sedimentation tank, water is sent to a loading tank. See, since the sedimentation, the insoluble particles are settling down, the water is not going from down. See, we are making from up, right, from top. The water is going to the sedimentation. I mean the loading tank. Loading tank. At the loading tank, some alum is added to water. What is alum? Alum, a hydrated double sulfate salt of aluminium with the general formula XAL. XAL2 12H2O, where X is a monovalent cation such as potassium or ammonium. It's not important. Sometimes we'll say potassium alum, ammonium, or generally we'll call it as alum. Okay, what it will do? The heavy particles of dissolved alum deposit on the suspended clay particles in water. Heavy particles, actually alum, they are heavy particles. Okay, when we are adding alum, what will happen? It will dissolve in water, and dissolved alum will deposit on the suspended clay particles in the water. So clay particles are not settled in the sedimentation tank. Clay particles are fine, small particles. So they didn't settle. They are coming like some kind of colloid. No? So they didn't settle down, not coming as a suspension. So they didn't settle down in the sedimentation tank. So in the loading tank, this alum will deposit. Dissolved alum will deposit on the suspended clay particles in the water. Then what will happen? In this way, the suspended clay particle in water get loaded with alum particles, become heavy and settle down at the bottom of the tank. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Understood? Understood?
Yes, sir.
So what is the purpose of loading tank? The particles like clay, which is not settled in the sedimentation tank, right, will be loaded with alum, which is dissolved in water in the loading tank. What will happen then? Then fine clay particle will become heavy and they will force to settle down in the bottom of the tank. Okay, clear? Clear? Yes or no? Okay, fine. So thus the process of loading by using alum remove the suspended clay particles from water. Okay. Suspended clay particle will be removed from the water. Noted? Yes or no? Noted.
Yes, sir.
Okay, others? Others?
Yes, sir.
Anyone?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay,
No.
fine. Then, next, third one. The water is then passed through a filtration tank. First one, sedimentation, settling. Second one, forcefully settling the clay particle, there is loading. Third one, filtration tank. Filtration tank. In the filtration tank, what we are using? Filter paper. In the filtration tank, what we are using? Filtration paper or not?
Not filtration.
Huh?
Not filtration.
We are using
Sand and grass.
sand, fine sand, gravel, coarse gravel, etc. Sand. Fine. The filtration tank has three layers. Three layers. Fine sand layer at the top, coarse sand layer in the middle, and gravel, tiny stones at the bottom layer. Okay. The layers of sand and gravel act as filters. When water passes through the layer of sand and gravel, even the small suspended particles and other materials in water get removed. When water passes through the layers of sand and gravel, even the small suspended particles and other materials in water get removed. So something like natural purification, right? Water coming to our well, right? What is that? We are drinking water in well. Actually, it is filtering by the earth, right? Earth, different layers of sand, soil, all these are filtering, and we are getting drinking water, right? So similar natural process we are using here. Noted? So no.
Yes,
No,
sir.
sir.
Okay. Next. Next point. Fourth, the clear water is then passed into a chlorination tank, fourth tank, chlorination tank. A little chlorine gas is added to water in this tank. A little chlorine gas is added to water in this tank. Chlorine is added to water to kill the germs present in it. Germs will be killed. This is called disinfecting the water. Disinfection process. Okay. Disinfecting the water or sterilizing the water. Sterilizing water, disinfecting water, chlorination of water. All these are actually what we are doing is we are adding chlorine gas and killing the germs. Fine. The water now become fit for drinking or safe for drinking. Fine. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Fine. Note it fast. Done.
Yes, sir.
Fine. Anna, noted.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So what is the next step? Sedimentation tank, loading tank, filtration tank, chlorination tank. What is the next step?
Supplying to other
Okay. Directly supplying will be there. Most of the cases it will be stored in
water tank.
water tank, right? The clean and disinfected water is then pumped by a pumping station into a high storage tank. From the high storage tank, water is supplied to homes and factories in the entire city through a network of big and small pipes. Fine. So this is what is water work. Water work. Sometimes it is known as water purification system. Water purification system. That mechanism we can call it as water work, including all four tanks and the pumping station, etc. Noted?
Yes, sir.
Fine. Others? Others? Aldrin, what is your examination? When is your examination? Starting?
Next week.
Next week. When is your science?
So they didn't think the timetable.
Your science is on November 1st. Note it. First.
Also, the model exam is in
Ah.
next week.
What?
Model exam is in first week. The first term is on November.
You're in which school?
Sharjah school.
Rajan school, I'm saying. Model examination for term 1. Model examination for term 1 is when?
So they said like next week.
Next week they will start. Your science exam. You are coming here for science only, right?
Yes, sir.
Right? When is science exam?
So they didn't say.
That I'm saying your science exam in 1st November. Okay.
Okay.
So learn well. You have enough time. Okay.